welcome to another exciting episode of Sunday Night Live. My guest this evening is Benny Mazier. Some of you may know him, some may not, but after tonight, I promise you will, because this guy is a YouTube genius. And he knows a lot of stuff, and Benny is going to share with us how you can use YouTube, how you can leverage YouTube to generate more sales at your dealership, whether it be variable ops, fixed ops. You know, it's a great platform. I think like what, 80 some odd % of the people, marketers use that, something like that.
Yeah, right around there. Absolutely.
And so without any further ado, welcome, Benny. Thanks for being on the show.
Absolutely, man. Thank you for having me.
Now the comments on the upper right-hand side, if you click on comments, then you'll see comments as they come through. Sometimes it's not exactly in real time, so I may glance on my phone like I'm doing now, just to see and make sure that it is actually live. It says that it is. Let's just take a look here.
I like the ticker at the bottom of the screen.
Thank you.
It's like ESPN. I like that shit.
All right, so we are definitely live. We've got a few folks on, so whoever's on. David Mumford says, hi, Paul. Hey, David, are you connected with Benny, David? Tully, hello.
What up, Tully?
Welcome, guys. Anthony Nicotera, hello, Paul and Benny, looking forward. Yeah, me too. I've really been looking forward to this. Hello, Annie, how are you? Annie Lister, at a Honda dealership.
Yes.
You know, I've had a YouTube channel for a few years, and I've never really taken it as seriously as I should have. But now I need to. There's no escape. And I'm going to rely on you to help me and the folks here to learn all the stuff we need to do.
And we just got done talking about giving shit away for free. So yeah. I'm going to give you an associate's degree in YouTube during this live meeting right here.
I love it. Thank you. All right. So where do we begin, Benny?
Well, I guess we can just dive right in. So I'll just give you a little bit about me. So I specialize in automotive digital marketing. I'm not opposed to traditional media by any means. If that's what your audience uses, then by all means, we will use that. However, I do feel that it's easier to, track digital. And one of my, old trusty sayings I stole from my business partner is, if you can't track it, you got to whack it. So that's just all there is to it, because especially nowadays, you can't be spending a bunch of dumb money and, all that. So we try to alleviate the wasted spend, focus on cost shifting, cost savings, and efficiencies to make sure that we're delivering the highest ROI. Yep. Ultimately, we look at an ad to sales ratio or cost per advertising per unit in the automotive business. We try to keep it around $200 cost per unit if we can. However,
wait. Around $200. You do realize that the average dealer spends about $630 per retail unit.
I do. And ADA says that as well, so I believe you.
You guys out there are not opposed to saving money, are you? All right, silly question, I know.
Right, said nobody ever. But you think about a lot of things. So I look at YouTube as broadcast television was, 10 years ago. And since the history of everything, it's always been broadcast television. With your reach, with your frequency, whether you're frequency stacking, whether you're roadblocking on different stations, it doesn't matter what you do. I worked at an NBC affiliate, great organization, so I learned a ton. But at the same time, looking at YouTube and looking at digital and the digital transformation that some of us have been talking about for 10 years, but some people are just now, getting on it. Like if you who Shaw Bradley is, I mean, that dude was talking about YouTube 15 years ago when nobody even knew what it was. So, I think it's just everything about the automotive business is people simply have a slight bit of fear and a slight lack of knowledge.
Yeah.
And any time that there's any type of fear or lack of knowledge, decision making gets put back a little bit. And that's normal. That's with anything in the world. If you look at, normal human behavior, that's how everybody is. So for all you people out there that are saying, oh, the car business is 30 years behind and they're not going to do this, if you educate folks, you teach somebody something, you have the trust, and you show them exactly what it is, then the fear and lack of knowledge is alleviated. And typically, the advertising and marketing can take a digital transformation, if you will.
And what's great about it is, as you were saying, I think all areas are good, and you need to be in all areas. But the majority of where your spend should be is in the stuff that's actually trackable, so that you can verify that you're getting return on what you're spending. Because it's really easy to spend a lot of money real quick.
Absolutely.
No idea where it's going.
Right.
Oh, we got a couple comments. It says here, healthy Sunday, Paul. What up, Benny from Orlando?
What up, Orlando?
Linda Hansen says, hi, all. And David Mumford says he doesn't think he's connected with you, but I think after today he will be.
Yes.
And Linda Hansen says today's customers wants digits.
Yes. Yesterday's customers do too. You're correct. That's correct.
And everybody tomorrow will. We got Mike Vogel, the coach. Benny and Paul, we appreciate you. I have a feeling that Mike Vogel might have one of those shirts that you saw my wife sport earlier.
Love it, Mike Vogel. Thanks for all that you do, man. For real. You're a wealth of knowledge, and all of your motivational deals, they do it. I promise you. Keep it up. Thank you.
And Mike Landis says, hello, everybody. Terry Turline, where specifically would you start with the dealership? All right. So we started on YouTube. So the fair. So we're going to teach folks a little bit about, actually everything about how to get started.
So the first thing that you need to do is create a YouTube channel, which is just like setting up a Facebook page or an Instagram page, things like that. It might sound easy to individuals, like myself, that have done it numerous times and for a long time. However, YouTube's very user friendly, so it's not difficult to use or anything like that. I'll give you a bunch of stuff of where to access these resources here in a little bit, but I don't want people to take away from your show, so I'm not going to do that now. But ultimately, so if you let's look at YouTube and broadcast television. Let's kind of compare those two. Okay. Yes, it's apples to oranges, and I understand that. And I'm not trying to, open up a can of worms. However, broadcast television, you broadcast your message out. Like, you can waterboard the people. You can send, show your message as many times as you want. You can do your bookends if you're doing 15-second commercials. But you have to hope that those people are sitting down in front of their TV watching broadcast television. You also have to hope that they may be in the market for your product, because on broadcast television, you can typically only target, adults 25 to 54 or a certain gender 25, 54, things like that.
Yeah.
You play your message over and over. Well, on YouTube, people physically go to YouTube and type in what they're looking to learn more about. That's about as bottom of the funnel as you get. Because if I'm not interested in the shit you're offering, I promise you I'm not on the computer looking for it.
Exactly.
It doesn't work like that.
Right.
So that's the thing about YouTube. These people are at the bottom of the funnel, physically searching for more knowledge on the products that you offer. 70% of the searches on YouTube are for how-to videos. Nobody ever argues with that, because we've all typed in how to fix a washing machine, how to fix a microwave, how to do this, how to change the blade on my lawnmower. I just did that the other day. Everybody does. Yep. But then I get the funny rebuttal of, yeah, but nobody's watching YouTube. Didn't you just go on YouTube to learn how to do something? So you do. Exactly. So, and I think that's a common misconception is, YouTube is a social media platform. It's owned by Google. It's the second largest search engine out there. A lot of people, really don't realize that. And YouTube reaches 92% of 18 to 45-year-olds on the internet, and reaches more people than any cable or broadcast television network in the whole world.
Now, here's the beauty of it too. Even a do-it-yourself. Okay, so you have a dealership. Mm-hmm. And you do how-to videos. Very simple stuff, right? It's not rocket science. And because Terry wants to know tips to drive sales traffic to your YouTube channel. Terry, we're going to get to that. We want to make sure we cover everything. But while we're in this, right? So the YouTube, somebody's doing a search how to fix something on their own. they'll learn how to fix it, but they still need the part, right?
Right.
I watched a YouTube video on how to fix a washing machine, which could be no different than how to do your own brakes or things like that. And then in that video, there was a link for me to buy the part that I needed. I wasn't even 100% sure that was the part. But I typed in a search the noise that it made, and the noise brought me to a video that showed me how to take the machine apart, and it said it's probably this little plastic gear broken in half. Well, I'd never taken a machine apart before, but I figured it's broken now. I can't make it any worse. I took it apart, and sure enough, that little plastic gear was broken right in half, just like in the video. Now I know I need the part. Guess where I bought the part? I bought the part online through that video. So as a dealership, so just to answer part of your question, Terry, as a dealership, if you do how-to videos on how to fix certain things that some customers are going to do themselves, then you could link to your parts store and you could sell them the part.
And Terry, just to give you a quick tip, be the trusted resource, be the go-to person. If you're pumping out all the content on YouTube of, how to change oil, how to change a tire, how to do this, how to do that, great. That's fixed ops. That's great. At the same time, this is embarrassing for me to say, but I had to watch a YouTube video on how to recline my back seats in my 2020 Malibu. And I've done millions of walk around videos on Malibus because I didn't know how to do it. So of course I went straight to Missionary channel because that's my partnership. And I did watch my own video on how to do it. But if a lot of people understand that that's the dealership that's pumping out all the content, right now you really don't have a lot of competition on YouTube for a local store. Even if you're a group and you have 3 or 4 rooftops in your DMA, there's probably not 10 or 12 other stores out there that are pumping out this much video content on YouTube. So you already have a leg up on the competition because YouTube right now is pretty much the wild, wild west.
Yeah. I think there's one dealership that I subscribe to because I had to look up some stuff and they put out some good content. So now I get notifications. So they set notifications, right? The little bell thing on the top of the video. Mm-hmm. So now when something that's probably relevant to me comes, I get notified. So yeah, that's a great point, Benny. You become the authority and people will expect you to have the answer and they will come to you.
Right. All the time. And anytime that you're using YouTube, obviously you want to make sure that you're sharing it and you're doing the best practices that YouTube upholds. Obviously each site, each channel, all those things have different things that they prefer in regards to optimization, SEO of videos, how to rank higher, how to appear in recommended videos, because that's your whole home screen of YouTube. So all of those types of things, are very important and very relevant. Also, YouTube likes Facebook and it likes Twitter. They're friends. So if you want the best optimization, share your videos on YouTube and Twitter. And yes, I will give you the whole blog for free here in a bit on exactly what that is.
That's awesome. And Benny was giving me a tip before. I was asking Benny, I said, I don't tend to share a lot of my YouTube videos on Facebook because you get the smaller thumbnail as opposed to the full screen. When I share a YouTube video on LinkedIn, it's the full 16:9 format, full frame, which is good. But on Facebook, it's not quite the same. So Benny, why don't you share with us your trick?
So typically what we'll do is you'll natively upload a video. So for folks that don't know what natively means, that means it's not a link, like it's the real video that you uploaded the whole thing to that platform. So what you can do and what we do on Facebook is we'll upload the entire video to YouTube, but we'll cut a 30-second snippet and upload that native video to Facebook. So people watch the first 45 seconds and if it's compelling, yes, full frame. And if it's compelling and they want to watch the rest, you put the YouTube link in the comments and they just click on the link and then they go to your channel and they watch the whole video. But if you just post a snippet or share the link on Facebook, like you said, without full frame, I'm probably not going to see it. Right. The average person goes through 300 feet of their Facebook newsfeed every time they get on it. 300 feet.
Wow.
That's a lot of this. So if it's not sticking out, I'm probably not going to see it. It's not that I didn't want to see it. I just probably didn't see it.
There's just so much noise.
Right.
That unless it's relevant, you're just going to miss it.
Correct. But think about right now, people are watching us. This is a video. This is just like YouTube. This is just like everything else. People are watching us. I've done a million podcasts, and so have you, but you want to put the face with the name. What do they look like? What do they sound like? Does that guy really talk like that in real life? Yes, unfortunately I do. But at the end of the day, you can engage with the audience and you can create that trust and you can build that rapport with your audience through video. So breaking it down, because Terry, all I really care about for dealerships is ROI and revenue. So I'm a big fan of the how do you drive sales traffic through YouTube. Think of the 2020 model. So what they come out in, between July and November of 2019. Chevrolet, what do they have? 12 or 13 models. So you make 12 or 13 videos. Then you don't have to make another video for a whole year because typically they don't come out with new models. So that's just one little part of it right there. If you want to do model specific terms, you can, test drives, walk arounds, reviews, features and benefits, what's different from the 19s to the 20s, those types of things. And you have to cater to your audience with the content you provide. So I was doing a F-250 or 350 Super Duty King Ranch. I think it's a Cadillac, Jesus Lord, when you sit in it. But I always give the tow capacity. I give the fifth wheel. I give the gooseneck. I give all that stuff because a person that drives an F-250 wants to know that. That's going to be a purchase decision that they want to know. Yeah. Also, on a lot of them, with comparing the 19s to the 20s, if you look at the Chevrolet Silverado 2500 HD and the 19s, they didn't have all your tow capacities listed like they do the 20s on the inside of the driver's door jamb. So all you do is open the door and it gives you all your tow capacity, gooseneck, everything right there on this little sticker. Well, that's huge for people that tow because they don't have to Google it every time. They don't have to pull their owner's manual out. It's right there. But if I'm the guy that showed you that video and you're like, wow, this just made my life a whole lot easier. I didn't even know there was a sticker there. You're dropping, again, the lack of knowledge. And the individuals are like, well, if I want to know something about a truck, I'm going to go to, in my case, Jim Teneri Chevrolet to find out about this 2500 HD Silverado of what's different from 19 to 20. So those are the types of things that you can do because most of the time, if somebody comes into your dealership and has a good experience or they learn something, or if they go to your YouTube channel and they had a good experience and they learned something, they're probably going to do business with you, or you have a higher chance of them to do business with you.
And they'll subscribe.
Absolutely.
You've helped them a couple of times.
And one of the things that you can do to increase subscribers, obviously, is, consistently put out content, but you can schedule posts on YouTube just like you can on Facebook. You can on LinkedIn, but you can on YouTube. So literally, I'll upload 30 videos and schedule them to go out every 2 weeks. And they just automatically populate. And I forgot that I even posted them. Then my phone's blowing up from notifications. I'm like, oh, yeah, I forgot I posted that. But that's just the easy way for the content creators or dealerships to put their content up there. And it's kind of like that Ronco guy to set it and forget it, and schedule it and it'll just come out. So that's just another great thing that you can do is schedule the post for whenever your audience is on or when it's the most engaging time, if you will.
Now, you just hit something right on the head here. Okay. Amazon turned car dealers into retailers, right? We're no longer car dealers. We're not repair guides. We're not sales guys. We are automotive retailers. That's what we are. That's what we do. Customers expect the same convenience and transparency from us as they do from places like Amazon.
Now, I disagree with that, but that's fine. That's not what this show is about.
That's it. Now, you said you use the term content creator. Okay. So we are all, in essence, content creators.
Absolutely.
Because we're either going to need to create the content ourselves or we're going to need to hire somebody to create that content for us. But whoever we hire isn't going to just magically pull out what they know we need as a dealer.
Right.
So you now become content creators. And the way to cut through the noise, because there is so much noise, and because YouTube is wide open right now, you can dominate and become a content creator by creating the types of content that is interesting to your customers, whether it be the do-it-yourself people, whether it be what to expect when you go into the dealership as far as sales is concerned, what safety precautions are you taking at the dealership, what's the new normal, what's the new process. When I go to service, right? I'm going to go to service, what, a couple, 2-3 times a year, depending on how much we drive today.
Yeah.
As a consumer that's not in the car business, there's a certain apprehension. What's going on there? I'm afraid, I'm going to get hurt. And I'll give you an example. Earlier today, our friend whom I met in the car business, she wanted an idea as to where to go to get her car fixed. Her car was in a parking lot. It got bumped. And I said, send me a picture of it. Well, there was glare. I could barely tell if there's any damage on it at all. So today we went for a walk. I said, hey, show me the damage on your car. So we walk over, we look, she's got a Porsche Macan, and she shows me the damage. I look at it. She didn't break the paint at all. The little piece on the fender, I grabbed it with my hand and I pulled it out. It's nice and straight now. The piece on the door, it's about this far in, has a slight crease above and below the fold, but the fold is all the way down on the bottom. Now, I've been around long enough, 4 decades in the car business, to know that the dent wizard guy will be able to fix that. And worst case scenario, if I have to go through a store, that's going to be about $200, maybe. Would you care to guess how much her 2 estimates were?
I would say probably $1,200. It's a Porsche. I mean,
the one was $1,500. Guess what the other one was?
$3,000.
5 to 6.
Man.
So now you create a video that shows value. Come to us. Let's get it checked out. People are going to remember that.
Absolutely, they do.
You will become the trusted advisor.
Yes.
And to Terry's point, how do you get more people to your YouTube? Well, that's certainly one way to do it, right? In the descriptions. So talk to us about descriptions of the. Oh, actually, before we get too far, we got a couple comments here. Let's see. We have. Oh, David sent you a connection request, by the way, Benny.
I'll accept it in a minute, David. We're good.
All right, Kenneth Dunner. Hello, that's our friend from Sugar Land, Texas.
What up, Kenny?
Gene Girdley, Gene?
Absolutely.
Ron Usher says, I'm still learning. We're all
As
still
we
learning.
all are.
Hey, I don't think we ever stop learning.
No.
Keith Cash says, hey guys, great info. Thank you. And Brian Davis. Brian says, what up, Paul? Greetings, Benny. Benny, do your clients typically compensate techs, parts folks, and salespeople extra to generate content?
No.
That's a shame.
Here's why. Because there's no have-tos in the world of content creation. So you don't have to do anything. If you don't feel comfortable making a video, I don't want you to do it. If it's going to be awkward, or if it's going to, bring down the organization's brand or things like that by having internal employees do certain things, then I highly discourage that across the board. However, if you have a tech that's like, hey, I'm going to change out this water pump real quick. Let me just set my camera up and show you how to do it. And they're, articulate and they know how to speak, then absolutely have them create a video. And I think a lot of the times if we're talking about techs or mechanics or, whatever we're talking about, people don't expect a tech or a mechanic to deliver a Bob Barker video. I mean, they expect the guy's a mechanic. That's what he does. You're teaching him how to change a water pump. Like, I don't expect that to be fancy. If he's got a little dirt under his fingernails, I'm cool with that. I'm learning how to do the same thing. So you got to give those guys a little bit of credit, in my opinion, and that'll increase their confidence and they'll make more videos.
It's a cell phone video. It's not a Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer production.
Right.
Right? It's a cell phone video. And look, if this shy guy can do it, anybody could do it. It's not that hard.
It's not. And so the number one thing that you'll hear is people don't go on YouTube. That's what you'll hear. The reason you'll hear that is because 99% of the world goes to Google. Google owns YouTube. When you Google something, if you Google my name right now, the first things that'll pop up across the top besides my LinkedIn profile will probably be a whole bunch of YouTube videos that I've made. If you type in automotive YouTube marketing, you're probably going to see a bunch of my videos that are out there for two reasons. I know how to do SEO on YouTube, and I really don't have a ton of competition out there of other people that are putting out YouTube videos for automotive specific digital marketing and video marketing. So, that's the huge thing is you want your videos to appear on page 1 of Google. That's the big thing that a lot of people miss is, well, I got all these YouTube videos and nobody's going to YouTube. Just if you optimize them, and I'll show you how to do that for free here in a minute, you can end up on the first page of Google, typically the top search result to that specific query that the individual typed in.
Yeah, that's huge. That's
Yeah.
huge. Because Google, because they own YouTube, they love video.
Yes.
And the more content you put out, the better your rankings. Because now Google has basically one goal, right? That's to answer the consumer's question as quickly and as efficiently as possible. So if I'm looking for ABC, and I know that Benny can answer ABC, and he's answered it for a lot of people ABC, then it's going to be in my interest as Google to show you Benny's stuff.
Right.
So if you become the content creator that's answering the consumer's questions, now you have to take yourself out of the dealership for a minute, and you have to put yourself in the customer's seat and say to yourself, okay, now I'm a car owner. I'm going to drive the car for X amount of years. What are some of the things that are going to be important to me over that period of time? Whether I'm a do-it-yourselfer for some of the repairs, or if I need to seek out the services of a dealership, what are some of the questions that I'm going to be asking myself? Because when you look for anything online, you type in the exact question that you have, and it will give you the answer or take you to the person that can give you the best answer. So that's how, and Benny's going to share with us some of those tips, you're going to rank.
Absolutely. So let me do this right here. So I'm going to share my screen, if that's all right with you.
Awesome.
So then we can just get right down to nuts and bolts here. Hopefully I don't have anything inappropriate on my screen. Can you see my screen? Can you see that?
Hold on, I have to bring it on at the screen. Okay, perfect.
So you can see it?
Actually, it just blew up. There you go.
Okay. So this is my website, marketingsolutionsstl.com. So this is Benny's Neighborhood. I'm Benny. And this is the how to rank your car dealership #1 on YouTube in 2020. Okay, well, you can read all this later and do all that. But ultimately, right here is your best practices of SEO. So you upload a high-res thumbnail, add your tags, your description, the title length, and then you want to do info cards, share on Twitter, get a like on Facebook. Those are all things that you can do to end up on the first page of Google. That's what's important. So ultimately, as we're looking at that, those are little bitty things that you're like, okay, info cards, end screen, tags, description, the title, all that stuff. And if you type something in on Google, about halfway down the screen, you're going to see the suggested YouTube videos that people have put out in regards to the query or the questions that you're asking or the information you're seeking online. So that's another amazing way for you to get a whole bunch of traffic to your YouTube videos if they're optimized correctly and they, are the best source of information to answer the individual's question on Google, like you had just referenced.
Yeah. Yeah. Because let's face it, as consumers, we have very short attention spans, right? We live in micro moments.
Yes.
We do things on the fly. We're in the supermarket in the line, and while we're in line, we're looking at or for information on our phones in that micro moment of time. So when those queries happen, Google and YouTube want to make sure that those questions get answered by the right people. How often do you go to, you see something that there's even a term now for it called clickbait, where it tells you that you're going to find or see something. You click on it only to find out that it's crap. It's something else. It is not relevant to what you're looking for, and you bounce out of it. So
Yep.
Google actually penalizes you for that kind of stuff. So that's why it's important to optimize your videos so that you can get all that traffic.
Yeah, and I'm glad that Google penalizes people because that shit pisses me off.
Ah.
I want the information that I'm seeking, not just some crap that you want me to go visit your website. Quit doing that.
Because in 2 nanoseconds, you got 150,000 different articles pop up on a search query that you've done.
Right.
Literally 2 nanoseconds.
Yes.
We got a couple of questions here. Let's see. Kenneth is complimenting our goodness for sharing the stuff. Abel Aguirre, hello, fellows. Brian Davis's authenticity with the thumbs up emoji. Absolutely, authenticity is key because people spot bullshit like faster than instantly.
Yep.
And David says, would creating a video welcoming new clients to our dealership a smart way to help with customer retention and customer experience? David, absolutely. I say.
So I love that question because I was just talking to one of my guys, Justin, the other day. He owns a CDJR store, and he is doing the valet and the pickup and drop off service and all those types of things. In the East Coast and where you guys are at, that's real popular. In the Midwest, we're not all the way there yet. So it's a little bit different of an audience and a market, if you will. However, he asked me, what do I think would be a good way to promote that? And I said, if you made a video of the individual that's going to pick up their car saying, hey, I'm Benny, I'll be picking up your car. I've worked here for 10 years. I'm licensed. I'm insured. We clean the car when we're done. Here's what our service, department or service drive looks like, things like that. If you have the relevance and people are like, oh, well, that's the guy coming to pick up my car, their wall drops very quickly. So if you put a face with a name and you send that, download all the customers out of your DMS that have a service appointment coming up in the next 3 months and send them that video.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it builds credibility, but it also gives the driver, the salesperson, the manager, whoever it is that's picking up their vehicle, they can put a recognizable face with a name. And now all of a sudden you're like, well, yeah, come pick up my car. Why don't you go pick my food? Perfect. So that's a great way to do that.
People do business with people they like and trust. And what comes across more authentic than a regular person that works at your dealership that's going to be giving them a certain service? What comes across better than having that person appear on your customer's screen to reassure them that, hey, you know what? They're real people there. You didn't have to tell me who was coming. You didn't have to show me who was coming, but they care enough about me to want to make sure that I'm comfortable, that they sent me that video. So yeah, so David, that was an excellent question. And I follow that up even more with, before the customer leaves the lot with their new car or a new to them car, they should have touched service 3 times, with the last time being before the car's wheels even go over the curb. They should receive a welcome video from the service department welcoming you to the family of that dealership and introducing the service staff that's going to be, or the service team, because I'm big on team concept when it comes to service training, the team that's going to be there for them after the sale, right? That's key. I mean,
Right.
here are your 4 service advisors. Here's your service advisor team. Here's your fixed ops director. Here's your parts manager for accessories, things like that. So yeah, that video is key, and it truly is. You know, it's like the new gold rush right now because nobody's doing it, right? Or if they're doing it, a lot of them aren't doing it well. Got a
Right.
couple more questions. Let's see here. It's Kenneth saying hello, and Russ, man, what is the website again? Thanks, great info. Russ, we're gonna put in the comment section of this video a link to all that information. So we're talking about it, and we'll also provide a link to the information so that everybody has it. And then either Benny or myself, as you know, are always available. Both our contacts are in here. I've tagged Benny in this video, so you'll be able to connect with him. Any questions, things like that, and likewise with me as well. Benny and I work together on a lot of things. We've been friends for a number of years. We met on LinkedIn, and it's been a great building community with Benny.
I agree, Paul, 100%. And one of the things that I hear a lot from dealers is they're afraid that they're going to hurt their brand, or they're going to, not have the confidence that they did in the 30-second commercials of the principal standing behind the podium screaming at you like a monster truck rally, which is, don't put that shit on YouTube. Just leave it for broadcast television. If you still do that, because it is effective and it works, I get it. However, people don't go to YouTube to see 30-second commercials like that. But take the concept that you used for your whole, the whole last 30 years that you've been on broadcast television. You did a lot of things with that. Number one, you probably had, the general manager, the dealer principal in the video. So there's recognition. You let them know where you were located. You let them know what vehicles right now are coming out or are available, what incentives are available, or the $299 lease, or this monthly payment, or $87,000 off, or whatever it was. You put a lot of information into that 30-second video. Like, it literally is just stuffed with information.
Yeah.
Pump the brakes a little bit, let off the gas a little bit, and break those down into, like you said, micro moments where you can take a 10-minute video and you can make, a bunch of little 3-minute, 5-minute, 1-minute, whatever the case is, videos out of that. Yep. Because right now, the number one thing that I think is, if we're retail and it's a race to the bottom and nobody's making gross anymore and whatever all the other shit people talk about, you just said that people buy it from people that they like and trust. Well, guess what? If I make a video that tells you my competitive edge and my differentiators and why you should buy from my store versus the guy down the street, and if the guy down the street doesn't have a video, guess what? They're probably going to come check you out if they liked your video, because you just gave them a reason besides price to do business with you. Then we'll do one about the express valet or the express lube or the pickup and drop off, or our service facility actually is clean and is not nasty, and it doesn't smell like a Jiffy Lube or a quick shop repair. No disrespect, quick repair, but your shit stinks. And you go into a car dealership and you go into the service drive, you can eat off the floor in a lot of those stores. A lot of people have never been back there. They don't know. They don't know at all. So open them up and show them what your store is about, and let them see the inside of the store, and let's alleviate, some of that apprehension of, going to a car dealership. It's like going to a divorce attorney. It's really not that bad.
Right. And here's another brilliant thing, to Terry's point earlier about how to drive traffic to your store. Okay. On the variable ops side of things, my late friend AJ Maida, he was the marketing manager at a Dodge dealership in Connecticut. Okay, this guy was just genius. He worked in a Dodge store. He sold Dodge. He did the marketing for the entire place. Somebody went online to buy a Ford F-150, Guess what? They did a search on YouTube for Ford F-150, and guess whose video popped up?
AJ's.
AJ Maida's video popped up on the Dodge Durango or whatever comparable model they had to whatever somebody was searching for. The way he had it set up so that when they clicked on search, they saw his video come up. Hey, you're looking for an F-150? Great choice. Let me show you why the Dakota, how the Dakota stacks up to that. And then obviously he would show favoring the things that were better on the Dakota to over the Ford. Somebody's looking for a Chevy? Guess whose video popped up?
AJ's.
I know you're looking for a Silverado, but let me show you why the Dodge counterpart does X, Y, Z better. Whatever
Absolutely.
they were looking for. And he was
and
doing it.
The versus videos are very great. Like they're highly engaging as well.
Yeah.
Because if you look at an F-150 versus a Silverado, those are two pretty popular trucks that if you're searching for, a domestic truck, that's one of your two options. You'd like to know about both of those. And then all of a sudden, the Ram came in this year, last year, and is the hottest thing since sliced bread. I think it overtook the Silverado, which was number one for all those years. The F-150 was number one for 40 years. Well, now we have the new kid on the block, the Ram, whether you like it or not, is the king.
Yeah.
Well, do a video of what's the difference between a 1500 Silverado and a 1500 Ram, or do it, one of those type of what's the difference and why I think you should purchase this one over this one because this fits your driving habits or your family or your needs or whatever the case is. But then it goes back to, I'm the guy that told you what to do. So
the trusted source.
Exactly.
Because
I've never sold a car in my life. I never have. Ever. That is the hardest thing I can ever think of selling. I think what I sell is easy. Selling a car, that's just hella hard. But at the same time, if I'm coming to you and I know that you're the trusted resource, you're probably going to have a lay down with me, And
here's the beauty of it all, okay? We have access to everything online, everything. We have access to more information than we have time to sift through and to decipher.
Right.
As consumers, we're still looking to be guided. So if I have my options of looking for 4 different things and then having to spend all the time to research it, or having somebody that I see as a trusted authority having already done that work for me, and now think about it. You're a dealership. You're selling a Civic. What compares to the Civic? What models in Toyota can compare? What models at Nissan compare? Volkswagen. Make a video that highlights the benefits of yours over the others. Every manufacturer that's out there gives you what you're better at than the other guy. So why not pull all that stuff and make it in a short video? Because the people that are looking at your car are looking at those other comparables. Your OEM tells you that every month when they send you the papers. So why not make a short video that highlights those important things, right? People don't need to know 100% of everything. They want to know 80% of the information on the 20% of what's important to them in their next car. And again, if you establish yourself as the trusted person and you proactively put that out there, don't wait for them to go looking for it. If you wait for them to go looking for it, they may find it somewhere else. You bring it to them. Give them a reason to want to come to you.
And Dave Foy made a video a long time ago. What up, Dave? Love you, brother. I'm going to put you on blast here, though, and tell this quick story. He used to do videos of him walking the lot. That's what he did when he first started. And I'm like, this guy's kind of cool. I'm going to watch him walk the lot. Well, one day he said, and I just can't stand when our employees park in the customer labeled parking spaces at the store, because then the customers don't have a place to park when they're coming in to purchase from us or, service us or whatever the case is. So I called him the next day or emailed him or something. And I was like, hey, man, I used to park in those spots. I'm the agency. I'm like, man, what a dick move. Why would I do that? But I never thought about that until He posted that video. I'll never park there again, ever. And this is a long time ago. But so what I did was I kind of took that idea and we did a video at a dealership showing the service drive and basically saying, these are the designated areas of where our customers park. They're nice and labeled for you so you know where you park. Or you can pull up to the service drive right here. This is also very labeled and very nice for you. Because I thought, this guy just made a video, and I don't know if it was intentionally or unintentionally, to educate people like me on where to park when you go to a store. But he did. And we made a video about that. And all these customers that go to the store, they're like, well, they have the upfront convenient parking. That's why I go there. Well, I'm pretty sure every store does. But if you don't put that out there, they might overthink it. They might not know.
Right. Don't assume they know, because they don't. Don't assume they're going to do something, because they won't. Make a video to help them, to guide them along the way. We got a few more comments that have come in here. Mike Vogel says, Russ Mann will be the new YouTube video king for PermaShield.
I agree.
Russ Mann has been sandbagging us. Russ Mann's been saying, oh, he's shy. He's never done video. It's out of his comfort zone. Russ, I mean, no disrespect. Bullshit, because your videos are on point, quality, great stuff. For a new guy, it's too good for a new guy. I hate to break it to you. So we're on to you, Russ. But great videos. Keep making them. Russ Mann says, too kind. I'm learning for sure. David Mumford, thanks, guys, for the encouragement and amazing advice. You're welcome, David. David Foy, Benny is the man. Absolutely. That's why he's here.
Thank you.
Russ Mann says, perfect, thanks. Mike Vogel, great point about the showing the shop, Benny. Customers' comfort and convenience levels will go up if they see where their car is going, assuming it's reasonably clean and nice. And guess what? Most dealerships are spotless, clean and nice, cleaner than a lot of aftermarket shops. I ran a number of aftermarket shops, and because of how I work, it was spotless. But I can tell you that 95% of the other stores, the aftermarket you went into, not as clean, not as modern, not as nice as a dealership. So make the video to highlight that and show them. People will pay you more money. And today it's so competitive, you're not really that much more money. There are aftermarket shops that charge more than you do as a dealership. I know, because I mystery shop all the time. So why not be proud of that and show them? And we got, let's see, David Foy says, what is behind the wall is always a little scary to the customers. Absolutely. That's why break down the wall, show them what it is.
And to your point, Dave Foy, the back of the service department where the techs are and where all the stuff's getting fixed and everything, to a customer, that's like the black hole. That they don't know what you take your vehicle in, but as soon as you make that turn, oh, we don't know what's back there. Oh Lord, that's where all the ladies get taken advantage of. That's where they break other stuff and charge us more. And I don't even know what's back there. It's actually pretty cool and not very noisy. And it's got big old huge fan blades and stuff. I like it. But if you're not in the car business, you wouldn't know that. But if you make a video, you're like, no shit, that's what a service department looks like. You're like, yep, that's it.
Yeah, I mean, clean, spotless, organized. I mean, great stuff. We got a few more comments here. Kenneth is looking for a new Lexus X 350 SUV type. David says, the more we can make our clients comfortable, the more sales and clients we will keep. Dave Foy. That is absolutely true. Ron Usher says, junkyard dogs. No. Ron's always playing, always playing. David says, haha, that's what they think. Yeah, maybe some think that, but you know what? At the dealership, we are automotive professionals. Whether it's service, sales, the porter, whoever, the parts guy, we are professionals. And we should be proud of that. And we should be showing everybody what that is. Take down any possible fears and apprehensions. Let's see, Ron Usher gives the thumbs up to David's comment. And David says, from the Wayback Machine. And Russ Mann says, great encouragement from all of you. Thanks. Well, that's true, man. You are encouraging us, because for a guy that claims to not have done a lot of video. I say claims because they're too good for new guy. You're doing awesome.
Great job, Russ.
A little bit about, because I know how we doing? Yeah, we're coming up on time. So the cards thing, how difficult is that to set up at the end? So explain the cards so that.
So here, let me share my screen real quick. So Jim Trineri Chevrolet is one of our dealerships, our partnership, we do their marketing. So if you go to their channel, you'll be able to see all the different types of videos, and it's not a guessing game. Just steal the shit we do and make it yourself, and there's your whole strategy, and you're good. But then, obviously make
share because I don't see it.
Right, but make it personable. So, is it sharing?
Yep, I just added it to the screen.
Okay, so right here, so this is your title. You need to know it's right here, the catchy title. Well, this is what's going to appear probably the most on Google when you type that in. Here's a description.
Jim Chevrolet. Okay.
Yes. So here's a description right here. Obviously here you can choose your thumbnail. Is it made for kids, not made for kids? Here's your hashtags. Here's all that stuff, okay?
Yeah.
Well, when you go to more options, this is where you're going to put in the recording date. Google likes dates on videos because the more current the video is, the more relevant that it is. So if you put a video on there from 2016, change the date to 2020, and your shit will appear at the top. Okay. Also, where's the location? But then going down and put your captions in. Make sure you have those. However you want to do your comments, however you want to do all that. But you have your titles, your tags, your end screens. You have everything that you can do right here in the YouTube Creator Studio.
Yeah.
So that's the big thing that you want to look at is when you go to Creator Studio, it'll give you by default the options, and you literally just fill out those options. But very, very easy.
The better you fill it out, the more information you fill it out, you're gonna hone it so that if somebody's doing a search like that, let's put it this way: if somebody else had 20% of the information filled out and they want to answer the same question that Benny's looking for, okay? Dealer A has 20% of the information filled out. Dealer B has 70% of the information filled out. Now, since YouTube and Google, their goal is to answer the consumer's question as quickly as possible, who do you think they're going to direct to? Dealer A with minimal content, or dealer B that has more information filled out so that it's more relevant to that search?
It's kind of like all the dealers out there. The guy with the most inventory sells the most cars, right? Because people want options. There you go.
Yeah. It's not rocket science.
Keep your inventory full with your content.
Let's see. David Foy says, great show again, Paul. Thank you, David. Thank you very much. Yeah, so that's great information. Oh, wait. He says, you cannot just order pizza. You must give them information to deliver what you want. That's true.
Very true.
Make mine pepperoni and mushroom and hot oil if it's that other place in Stanford.
Right.
But yeah, no. So you can leverage YouTube for the entire store.
Yes. Everything about it from start to finish. And the most intriguing thing to me about the car business is obviously the advertising and the marketing part of it and the sales part of it, because that's what I do. However, there's an amazing amount of different personalities at each store. Each store is ran different, has different processes, has different employees, has different things that are put into place, everything across the board. Well, the personality of the individual that represents your dealership is what you want to use. Don't be afraid to use it. I shared a video from Jim Trineri Chevrolet, and it was a blooper reel of Jim himself, the principal, in like the 80s or 90s, and it's him shooting TV commercials, and it's only 30 seconds long, but it's the funniest thing in the entire world. And when you go into the store and you shake Mr. Trineri's hand, you're going to get that little laugh. You're going to get that look. You're going to get that. So use your personality. You guys did it for 100 years on TV. Do the same thing on YouTube. Just make it less aggressive, if you will.
Yeah. And another great thing about marketing your store via video is that make it a team, right?
Mhm.
Everybody always talks about team. It's not us or them. It's not sales against service, vice versa against parts. No, make it a team. Highlight everybody. Look, the only thing that's constant in our business is change. So why not make your customer develop a relationship with your entire team? If somebody
If-
leaves, it's unfortunate, but we have to understand that it's a reality of our business.
Correct.
If I have a relationship with just Benny and Benny leaves, now I've got to meet and or develop a relationship with somebody else.
Correct.
But if Benny is part of the team of 6 people that I know, when I go into your store, when I go in for service, and I know all 6 people in your service drive, hey, Phil, hey, Bob, hey, Mary, how are you? Hi, Lisa, how are you? How's the kids? And one of them leaves, it's not that traumatic to the customer. Because what we really care about, we care about our employees. That's number one. And if we care about our employees will care about our customers. But what the customer sees when they come in, that's what we care about the most, because that determines whether or not we're going to be around for the long haul. If we have no
Correct.
customers, we're not going to stay in business. If we don't stay in business, we can't help all the people that work for us if we're a dealership.
Absolutely.
So why not show everybody in these things? And it doesn't all have to be salesy. It doesn't all have to be a pitch. You have company parties, you have company barbecues, you have company functions. Why not capture some of those moments on video of your people having fun, interacting together? Why not share that with your database?
We've made hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of videos for dealerships. You know, myself, my Captiva team, our partners, all that type of stuff. We've never in one video in history of ever said or listed a price. Never. Because we're not trying to sell you something. We're trying to teach you and educate you something.
And they will ask you, based on the level of trust you've earned, they will ask you to buy something.
Yes.
I always find that in the marketing stuff that I send out, it's always a mix of stuff, right? You have to ask sometimes, because if you don't ask, you don't get. But a lot of times I'll send out stuff that's informational, right?
Mm-hmm.
Here's a show we had regarding COVID-19 and what precautions dealerships are taking. And I've shared that list that I compiled from all of these dealerships that I've spoken with, and I put them on the website and I share that with you, right? That's not selling anybody something, but that's showing them something, because now they can go, it's a resource for them. It's a resource. Yes. And they can look at it and, oh, you know what? I didn't think about this or that. Or maybe I missed something and the dealership says to me, hey, that's a great list. I appreciate you sharing it. I picked up a couple of things. We're doing something here. Like Ed Roberts, for instance, at his dealership, they're actually tracking people that are coming and going. Mm-hmm. So they know by name. If they ever have to do contact tracing, guess what? They're already 2 steps ahead of the game, because they have the information. They proactively made it part of their process to get it.
Correct.
So, yeah. So there's so much we could do with video to just make people see that, hey, these are real people like you and me. I want to do business with a guy like Benny or with a guy like Paul. Why? Because he's a real person. They're real people.
Yes. And also people like, did you know? Did you know? Make a video about something that you think your customers might not know. They'll love it, because everybody's like, I didn't know that. That's cool. Thank you for that. That's great information. Did you know?
Like how to change the clock. Every 6 months, I'm looking in the book. Every 6 months.
Exactly.
That's awesome, awesome stuff. So we're coming up on the time. Any other questions? Let me just make sure I've covered everything here. Kenny, so Paul and Benny are both give such scrumptiously delicious, utterly tasty, good info and entertainment tonight.
My man, Kenny. I always love you, my man.
Ron Usher, teamwork works, absolutely. And Vince Blank says, hey guys, pleasure. Check out our super affordable and effective misting system to disinfect cars to offices and everything in between. Please help keep everyone safe. Thank you very much. So with that, I want to thank my guest, Benny. It's been amazing. Don't forget in the comment section, put links to the information.
Absolutely.
And I want to thank you all for watching this week's Sunday Night Live. Share this broadcast with your friends in the automotive world that would benefit from this. And we'll see you next week on Sunday Night Live. Thanks again, and we'll see you then.